All right, folks, welcome back to another episode of the McKinney Podcast, where we celebrate what makes us unique by nature. How's it going, Fred?
Man, can we just release all of these at once?
Could we? Dude, that would be a really bad idea. We got to drip them out once a week, man.
No, but I just want to get this stuff out there.
If we release these all at once, then people would go a month and a half without new episodes.
Yeah.
And the people might be sad.
Yeah, but you know what, though? And, you hear it all the time. People will get into something on these streaming services, and then they hit the end, and they're in the show hole. And then for the next, 3-4 months, all they can do is just list away for, oh, my goodness, when is that show going to come
Here's
back?
the good news. We don't have seasons on this podcast.
Yeah,
Every single week,
there's so a new... good.
Yeah. I you and I are completely unbiased, but I do agree that these guests are bringing the fire, man.
Yeah, I was say, when it came Halloween time and get the candy, I was the guy that was going through the loot and just chowing down because it's all so good.
Well, I can't help myself. I listen to every episode the day it comes out, and then I generally listen to it once or twice more during that week, and just soak it all in.
No, it's so okay. So we're not
enough self-aggrandizement and patting ourselves on the back. We are sitting here with a young man who is the definition of an American success story. He comes in from somewhere else, comes in and just crushes it. Grows up, finished growing up here in McKinney. Now a McKinney-based business owner, very successful, growing business. Active in the chamber. That's how you and I both got to know him. I think we probably should give him the introduction that he deserves.
Roll the music.
I'm going to go ahead and hit our music. We're making this up as we go because the guest information form will be filled out after the episode with headshots and all of that stuff. Roberto Gonzalez hails from the great country of Mexico. He came here with his family as a juvenile, about 14 years old, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, he is a graduate of McKinney High School. Was it McKinney High?
It was Boyd.
It was Boyd.
Not McKinney High.
No, he's a Bronco.
Right.
He's not a lion. He's a Bronco, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he is the founder and president, CEO, Grand Poobah of
you name it, yes.
of Wash Broz Company, which is an exterior washing and power washing service.
Mm-hmm.
And they do all kinds of stuff, window cleaning included. You probably have seen his content on social media. He's got a very strong content game, great video production, great headshot too, Fred, by the way. Good job there.
Well, he has a lot of headshots. He is actually in demand.
He is.
People want to take his photo.
He's
very a good-looking guy.
He's very, as they say in Mexico, el guapo.
El guapo.
Yeah.
And el jefe.
El jefe guapo.
That's right.
The handsome boss. Is that right? Yeah. Please welcome Roberto Gonzalez. How's it going, man?
Man, well, after this introduction, man, I'm feeling good.
You should, bro. You are crushing the game of life, my friend. When we put the word out to the chamber and said, hey, you know what? We're getting near the end of our list of people. We sat down, when Fred and I put this podcast together, I had the original idea. The only co-host I ever asked to do this with me was Fred. And before we ever started recording, Fred and I sat down at Sweetwater Coffee over on Custer, and we built out a list of 40 or 50 guests. And we've had most of those people on, the people that we wanted to have on. Later today and tomorrow, we're knocking off a few more names off of that list. We're not going to say everybody, but man, the list that we had is very light now. There's a few people that left that we know we need to get done from the original list. But we always had the plan that once we were done with that list, we were going to pivot in a big way towards run-of-the-mill people in McKinney, doing interesting things, small business owners, nonprofit leaders, folks that are, valedictorian of the high school and whatnot. Just get those stories out that maybe people aren't as familiar with. You, my friend, are definitely one of those stories. You are a bootstraps kind of guy. You have studied at the School of Hard Knocks. You got your graduate degree from the School of Hard Knocks after you graduated high school. So, man, I'm just really excited for this conversation. You are a stand-up guy. Your reputation in the circles that I'm in is flawless, my friend. You've done a really good job gaining a good name for yourself. So, man, I'm just glad to have you here and super proud of you as a colleague in McKinney. Way to go, man.
Thank you so much, James. And I wasn't on that list.
No, there was a lot of people that weren't on that list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we started with the mayor, and then
Okay.
we've had city council, we've had a lot of people in positions of important leadership and influence. Superintendent of the school board, fire chief, folks, city manager Paul Grimes, and president of the EDC, like people that make things happen in McKinney. And if it makes you feel any better, if I wasn't the host, I wouldn't have been on the list either.
I'm just messing with you guys.
No, and I'm messing with you right back. Let's be real. Like Fred, the only way Fred and I get to have these conversations is because we co-host the podcast.
That's right.
Otherwise, I don't know where we'd be on the list, but probably somewhere a lot lower than 40 or 50. So
that's funny, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how in the world did I ask your permission before this? Because I never want to assume that people are okay talking about sensitive family stuff. You're born and raised in Mexico. Your dad's an entrepreneur. He's doing cool things down there. Tell the story of how you come to be in America.
Yes. So my dad had a friend over here that ran multiple restaurants. Got an opportunity to come here. And since his business kind of went bankrupt in Mexico, some issues with the government. It's very corrupt over there. But we sold everything. Then my parents made the decision to come to America because they knew it was going to be the greatest thing for me and my three brothers.
How old were you at that point?
I was 14. I was 14 years old. I was barely, going to be in 8th grade when I came here, and we sold everything, burned the boats, came here, and we didn't know what to do. We had no idea how America worked, how the system here worked, how the school system, nothing. So we're bouncing from hotel to hotel, going from like a nice Omni hotel because we had a little bit of money to like really, really bad ones. And my mom was like, okay, we need to stop. We need to do something and move somewhere and actually stay. So she was doing some research online. In that time, it was 2014. I remember McKinney had the banners, best place to live in America. It was voted the best place to live. So she found the school system, how good it was, and she was like, okay, this is where I want to be for my kids. So, they did everything they could. I mean, I'm so grateful for my family, for all the sacrifices to bring us over here and leave everything behind. It's amazing. So we landed in McKinney, found a small apartment of 380, and started our life here, man. And little by little, we started building our home, our little apartment from, buying mattresses and then going to Goodwill, like a few months after, getting a dinner table, and just slowly started building. But, throughout the whole time, we knew that we're in a great country, that the opportunities were here, and we just had a lot of faith in God that everything was going to be okay, and everything turned out incredible, man. So, yeah, that's kind of how we got here.
I love it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a line in Hamilton, the musical, where he's talking. I forget who Hamilton is talking to, but the line in that song is "Immigrants, we get the job done." And anytime I get to talk with someone who isn't from here, who has displayed courage and resilience and work ethic and character, to go through very challenging times earlier in your life, then you come to America, you just make the very most of the opportunity you get. You keep your hand clean. You're not, giving in to temptations or opportunities to do things the wrong way. You're not getting in with the wrong crowd and going down a gang route or a drug route or any kind of a crime route. You're getting an education for yourself and choosing to be an entrepreneur and starting a company with your brother, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My brother. Uh-huh.
Man, people that, categorically bash the immigrant population, I just don't understand it. And I know it's a very complex issue politically. It really is, because both sides of the aisle have strong feelings, strong opinions and whatnot. But I will say one thing. Every time I have a conversation with someone who's lived it, man, it's like, if you're born in Honduras, Venezuela. Pick a country that has lots of immigrant population. If you're born in a country where it's dangerous, where your government's corrupt, where you're afraid for your safety, would you not try to come somewhere that has a better life, better opportunity, better
100%.
education, better health care?
Absolutely.
And I promise you, if I've got a wife and young kids, do I care about following the law? Yeah, of course I do. But I also care about protecting my family and providing a life for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to get somewhere and maybe break a law to get there, but once I'm there, I'm getting a job, I'm producing, I'm paying taxes, I'm keeping my hands clean, I'm not doing crime or whatever. Like, I know it's a complex issue. I know people have really, really strong feelings on it. But every time I talk to someone like Roberto Gonzalez, it's like, this is why immigration is so important. And even if it starts out as something less than legal immigration, where you wait for years and years, wait in line and come over, even if it's not completely legal on the front end, we got to have a path for people like Roberto Gonzalez to be able to do what he has done, to be in line now for a green card, for citizenship in a couple of years. It's such a complicated issue. But every time I talk to someone like you, it's like, this is why we have to make a way for people to have a life here.
I agree, man. And, me as an immigrant myself, I do agree with some of the things where, people that come in this country to do crime or do wrong things, I agree that they shouldn't be in the country. But I think most of the people that come to a country like this is because they understand the opportunity that this country has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what makes me so sad is what I've seen is the people that live in this country don't appreciate how amazing they have it here. Especially, people that I grew up around, always trying to blame this and blame that when, it's in this country you can make it happen if you just work hard.
Yeah.
You maintain a good reputation and, you just do the right things.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so your move from Mexico to here, because, we did talk before we hit record. You talked about, and you mentioned it there, where you just went from hotel to, how long were you like bouncing from hotel to hotel?
It was probably around a month period of time where we were just trying to figure it out. I mean, we had no cell phones or anything, so we were going literally by map. It was crazy. It was an awesome experience, though, because I think it got our family really, really close.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so did that happen like during the summer? Had school already started, or were you?
So I was a little bit late to school, like a month late. So this was around, I want to say August. Yeah, when we came here, it was around August. So I went to school. My first day was around like early October. So it's been a month.
Okay.
Where
and were you already fluent in English?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Really?
I thought I knew English when I came here because back in Mexico I took some classes, but when you get here, when people were talking to me, they were speaking really fast, and I knew about hi, my name is Roberto and I play soccer. That's it. Yes.
And that was it. So how hard of a transition was that for you to go from your basic family structure and neighborhood and everything in Mexico here in the United States, where you literally own nothing, and now you're coming into school late? What did you do to, or was it mom and dad and the chancla that kept you
Well, definitely I was blessed with amazing parents, and but when we got here, the school system in here is incredible. So, coming from a country where the public school system is just complete crap, man. I mean, people get stabbed in there. It's really, really bad. It's not funded. The government over there doesn't care like they do here. So just coming to a school where, they want to help you out. So as soon as I came here, I went to Cockrell Middle School, and this was in 8th grade. As soon as I came in, I was getting help by people, guiding me. I remember the first time that I sat down in front of the counselor to, see what was going on. And they were telling me all these classes, and I had no idea. They're like advanced classes, and, I was just sitting there not understanding anything, but I had a translator that kind of helped me out. So I picked all my classes, and, the people here were always super welcoming. So I found friends really fast that spoke Spanish that helped me out, and just eventually, little by little, I think when you're younger, it's easier to learn a language. So I picked it up pretty fast. After like 4 months, I knew what I was doing. And, funny enough, I don't know how, but that year in 8th grade, I got like Student of the Year in English class. Like what? It's just because the teacher liked me. I know it's because the teacher liked me, because till this day is probably my worst subject in school. I hated English class.
Well, I'm sure it's perspective, that, what you see versus what they see. But, let's just go ahead and give a shout out to the superintendent of McKinney Schools.
Yes.
For creating, the
best,
the culture that we have here that, we have, we've had the valedictorians, in here and we have you here and, you especially, thinking about the language barrier and just all of a sudden you're injected into United States culture of all places to be, how McKinney has led to your success, not only academically, but, as a business professional in our community.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't pause for a second and let you give a shout out to any teachers, any educators, any coaches, anyone that you want to give props to publicly, because with apologies to Sean Pratt, superintendent of McKinney ISD, who has sat in that very same chair that you're sitting in right now, I guarantee you if he hears you say that, he's going to say, "No, Fred, it's not about me. It's about our school board. It's about our school administrators at the campus level. And most of all, it's about our educators, the teachers and coaches that are in direct contact with these students day in and day out. Those folks, along with our first responders and our medical staff, nurses, doctors, police, fire, EMS, whatever, like those are the folks that are the real heroes in McKinney, because without them, literally no other business is possible. Any teachers, any coaches, any administrators that you want to give a shout out to that helped make your middle school and high school experience amazing?
Yes. So middle school, I want to say a shout out to Miss Earhart. She was my English teacher. That made me feel like a rock star because, I thought I didn't know the language, but getting that definitely helped me out a ton. Coaches were literally why I started the business. My high school coach, Coach Elgin, shout out to Coach Elgin. He doesn't work there anymore, but when it was in the middle of the pandemic, 2020, I gave him a call. I was like, "Hey, Coach, do you have a job anywhere that I can work or coach?" And he was like, "No, but I know one of your teammates was pressure washing trash cans 2 years ago. You and your brother should try it." And I was like, "Okay." So I told my brother. He was always kind of a mentor for me. We had a great relationship where we'd compete together and stuff. But he was originally the one that gave us the idea to start pressure washing trash cans. So shout out to Coach Eldrin. Coach Peak was the head coach. Amazing person. I still have lunches with them because they just had so much impact in my growth. And, of course, all the teachers that had me in class. I didn't like class that much, but they were awesome. I mean, I felt when I got here, I felt like I was in High School Musical, truly, because, the facilities were incredible. I mean, everything about McKinney Boyd my experience was A1. I tell that to anybody.
Man, I will say, for someone who's born and raised in America, I've seen a lot of, education campuses, a lot of high schools, a lot of colleges and whatnot. The first time I saw a Boyd High School campus on Lake Forest, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're driving by that school.
Is that
like
a high school?
A mile long.
The thing's got to be like a quarter mile.
It's a quarter mile long, baby.
From one side to the other. We're like,
And
how many steps a day do these poor students and teachers get,
then
man?
you got to go behind the school for all the fields. And, I feel sorry if you come to school late, because that parking lot, if you're on the other side.
You're going to be walking for a quarter mile to get to class.
Oh, trust me, yes.
Hope you got your running shoes on, man.
That's right.
Yeah. What an impressive campus.
It is.
I don't know if I've seen really any other high school campus that is as just imposing. You see it from the street, it's like, my word, this is a high school?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, and the way Lake Forest, crests,
the way
and
the crest
curves
is,
and all thing. Oh yeah, that's
right at the peak of the hill is where they put the front door, like the main entrance to the high school. Like, wow, this is really
turn
impressive.
and drive down into that thing. So yeah, that is impressive.
The indoor facility is insane. Everything that it has is just incredible.
We are currently zoned for north. I don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense. We live at the corner of 380 and Ridge, and we literally would drive past Boyd, and then 8 minutes longer away from Boyd is north. And we had Sean Pratt in here talking about zoning. I'm like, I don't see there's any way. And Charlie prefers the Boyd Broncos. Our son's in second grade at McClure Elementary, right there at 380 and Ridge.
Yeah.
And he prefers Boyd. But our daughter, who has been to a cheer camp, our daughter is in she would be in kindergarten this year, but we held her back. She's still in pre-K technically, but she went to a cheerleader camp at North. So Emmy is cheering for North, whereas Charlie is cheering for Boyd. And I'm sitting here going, come on, McKinney ISD, like get us to Boyd.
You just got to find a special program that's only available at Boyd.
I will find a way, because logistically, I don't want to drive to North.
I found a way, man.
It's literally 10 more minutes each direction than Boyd is from our house.
I forgot about that, man. I was zoned for North as well, because I was on the apartments on 380. And it didn't make sense either, just like you, because literally it's 5 minutes away from Boyd, or 8 minutes. And my friends, so when I got here, I've always played soccer my whole life. And my dream was to become a professional soccer player. That's all I wanted to do. So I found a soccer team, online, did some research. And my teammate said that the Boyd soccer team was the best one in McKinney. So I was like, okay, I have to go to Boyd. And luckily, in 8th grade, my best friend lived in the neighborhood right in front of it. So I put his address instead of mine.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Hit the confessional music.
Hold
hit
on.
the confessional music.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say this here, but
Roberto, do you have a confession to make?
Yes, I do, man. I forged I forged my friend's address into the application to go to Boyd just so I can play in the best soccer team in town. And yeah, I did it, and I'm so glad I did it, because I found great success at Boyd and friends that I still have till this day.
So at what point did anyone realize, wait a second, this guy's supposed to be going to North, but he's actually going to Boyd?
Probably after I moved to my new address, that was right there in front of Boyd as well. And my coaches kind of knew what was going on, but they didn't want to say anything because,
I'm going to say that your coaches didn't know.
Yeah.
Your coaches
let's say
didn't know.
that. Let's say that.
Because, when it comes down to it, I'm going to invoke his name again. Sean Pratt runs such a tight ship, and he is all about integrity.
In his defense, he was the head football coach.
That's right.
In 2014, when 2015, 2016.
Okay.
He's only been superintendent for about 2 years.
Okay.
So it wasn't Sean Pratt's thing.
It was past my time.
It was
Mr.
Was it McDaniel?
McDaniel, yes.
That's it.
Shout out to him. What a
Dr.
guy.
McDaniel.
Dr.
But
McDaniel.
I know
what
him
a guy.
also,
Yes.
and so
Who has since retired.
Yes,
Yeah.
he also, when we first moved here, it's funny you talk about all the McKinney things. When we looked around where to move, McKinney, we didn't even know about McKinney, and someone said you should check that out. And not long after we moved here was when they got rated best place to live. And my friends and family back in Florida, they were like, "Did you know that?" I was like, "I didn't know that." So but we have benefited from that. So yeah. So okay, James, you have a system. We'll just have to edit out names and identities to preserve the innocence.
I mean, it was 10 years ago. I don't think there's really anything about that.
It was a while ago.
You didn't make any money off that graduation certificate, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay, all right. But are you paying royalties to your coaches who inspired you to start the Wash Bros?
No, I'm not. But I pay him in phone calls and lunch.
And lunch.
Pick up that lunch tab.
Yeah, pick up the lunch tab. Yes.
Okay, so you guys start out. You're doing the power washing of trash cans.
Yes.
How did that work? Did you have one of those things that attaches to the back of a pickup?
No, man.
Some kind of thing, or were you just running around, hooking up to people's water?
That's it, man. So we, when we started, we told our parents. My mom was like, "Are you sure you want to do that? They're pretty stinky." And we were like, "Yeah, let's do it. I mean, whatever." Because she had an idea. She had another idea, but we just rolled with it. And my dad bought us a little Ryobi pressure washer from Home Depot that would hook up to the house, plug it in, and just roll around the neighborhood, man. And my mom actually made a post on Facebook when we started. Hey, my sons are doing this, and that post went viral. So the news contacted us after 4 months. We were on NBC and Telemundo, and that's when things started kind of, picking up a little bit and getting serious. We're really blessed with people that wanted to mentor us and help us out. Set up the website, create the LLC. Our CPA that we still have now. A real estate friend that still helps us out now. It's just. We're very blessed with people who wanted to help us out. I mean, it wasn't just us, it was my parents. It was all the people that supported us, all those started clients that, we still service now. And, all my friends' moms, because I was just calling all the people that I know, hey, we're doing trash cans. Do you want to get yours cleaned for $25? I'm like, sure. So people liked and respected that, we got after it to pay for school and, and didn't just, do a GoFundMe or something like that. But I'm so glad we started it. Yeah.
No. And I love that because our sons, when they wanted to go to band camp, we were like, we got to figure this out because, we just don't have that budget. And one of our friends from Lynx said, when my kids were your age, they pressure washed cans. And so my boys did that, and it was very lucrative for them. Of course, I'm driving them around because they're not old enough to drive, and they're trying to manage them as a team. But what happened was they were very popular, and their service circle really grew. And then another company came into town, and they had the automated things that picked it up and put it in the back. What I don't see them anymore. What are things that you recognized, or did you recognize anything that you needed to do for your business to grow?
Yeah. So, when we started with just the trash cans, we saw the opportunity to get into new services because, frankly, when we started, me and my brother had no idea what we were doing. No idea what business was. I mean, it was never even a thought, just kind of entrepreneurship. Just God said, here you go, boom, and just dropped it in our lap. And we saw that, we can do other things with the pressure washer. So one time my client asked us if we can pressure wash their driveway too. We're like, sure. So we started pressure washing with the same pressure washer. It broke. So we had to go get a new one. We got another one that's just like the upgraded version of the Ryobi, which still broke like 2 weeks after because it couldn't handle it. All the driveways and, people started asking us, hey, could you clean my windows too? I'm like, sure. So, we started cleaning windows and learning how to clean a window. And, that same year, like 6 months into when we started the business, we told our dad to come help us out and quit his job. And it was a hard decision because,
So you hired your dad.
So our dad came into the company, yes. Our dad came into the company and started helping us out a little bit more. And, I'm not going to say it was all sunshines and rainbows like people painted out there. No, man, it was hard. It was really hard. It was times where, how are we going to get customers? And, the bills keep coming. And, we had no money for rent. And, I saw my dad just so stressed. He, pinned me down into a wall. And was like, man, we need to do something. And, it's just experiences that really build your character, especially, as a young guy, as a young man back then. And, all these situations that, all I had to rely on is in faith. So, after and getting after, knocking doors, just doing everything that we could, offering more services, branching out. And that's where, we stopped doing so much of the trash cans and focusing more on, okay, we can become an exterior cleaning company where we can clean windows, pressure wash, concrete, clean gutters. And then we got into pressure washing and staining fences, which now it's a huge part of our business. And it's just not being afraid of saying no. And just when people ask if it makes sense within our business, if we can do it well, we just started doing it and we started growing and learning more about marketing, learning more about sales, learning about, leadership, all these different skills that you have to become the person in order to grow the business. So, we just started like that, open up more services.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes.
I love that, and so, you posted a video. It's probably been over maybe a year now. You picked up one of your largest corporate clients. How big was that building that you?
Oh yeah, that was incredible, man. So we did the Statler in Dallas. We cleaned all their windows and did some pressure washing for them. Man, that was such a learning experience. It was awesome. We were there for like a week and a half, just knocking it out. And it's just same thing, just not saying no, taking it on, taking on the risk. Hey, the risk.
Yeah, you risked well. Yeah.
I risked well right there.
There you go, man.
Yes. But with, understanding, insurance policies and different things that we were able to do it.
Tell me that story, because as someone who's in sales and as someone who's, going about how do we get the next big opportunity, whether it's a channel partner or an existing client or finding some way to get those really big opportunities. How did the Statler come about? How did you even get an opportunity to talk to this decision maker? A company like that, a building like that, They can have anybody they want. They can have the big national companies, the ones that have a much more sophisticated operation than you guys have.
Yes.
But you won the deal. You did the job, and you did it really well from watching your video. I'm guessing your client's happy. I'm guessing you got more work coming from that. How in the world do you get that opportunity as a bootstrap kid from McKinney?
Yeah, so it would be cool if I knocked on their door and just sold them right there, but it wasn't like that. It was through networking. So networking changed my life. You know, meeting people like you guys, going to a McKinney chamber, and the McKinney chamber led me to other groups. So I went to another group. I built a relationship with the guy that cleans the inside of, you know, buildings and has already the relationships, and we started doing business together. He's like, hey, can you clean some windows for this? And, you know, started kind of testing me out. And then he's like, well, I got this Stadler deal. Would you want to do it? And I was like, all right, let me go check it out. Of course, you know, I was nervous, and I went in there and I had to talk to, you know, the chief engineer of the building and just walked it around. And honestly, man, I felt like all these years of preparation led me to that moment where, you know, I kind of knew what I needed to say, the things that I needed to talk about in order for this guy to trust me with the project. And, you know, it's just, we built a relationship with the chief engineer. He liked us. They approved the deal, and it was just a connection. So, you know, I think your network is your net worth is a big saying.
Yep.
And it worked out for us right there.
So sorry, I'm going down the rabbit hole here. Just like how business happens is so interesting to me. You know, for that kind of equipment, for a job like that, obviously you need special equipment to be able to do a building that's at elevation. You don't have a, you know, 60-foot ladder. Like you're getting a completely different set of equipment. You've got to have the little, you know, elevator thing that goes on the side of the building. You've got a rigging system that you're tied off to. You've, you know, safety equipment and whatnot. You've got to have a different pump with different hoses for all. Like, how did all of that happen?
Yeah,
like you have to build your whole thing around a huge deal like that.
Yeah, so that was for Hotel Vin. We did another hotel, which was another big deal through the same relationship. And so we got our lift certification, so we're able to control the lift. And ooh, it was scary being up there for the first time. We've done smaller lifts, you know, but this was like a whole different animal. This is 50 feet in the air. You know, you have to be really, really careful. So, you know, it took us kind of like a month to plan everything out, how we're going to do it, how we're going to tackle the project. And it was, like I said, a lot of learning experiences. But it's just the machines that we had are very powerful already, so we're already equipped for it. But it's just, you know, the game plan, it's a little bit different. So, you know, we've done commercial jobs like restaurants, which is a lot lower scale, but same equipment. It's just about, you know, planning it bigger scale. So it's just, you know, learning how to use a lift, do it carefully, have a good team that is going to guide us, you know, where to go when we're up there, and just go for it, man. And that's what we did, and, you know, watched a lot of YouTube too.
Love it.
Yeah.
YouTube University.
Another great line, man.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. One thing I forgot to mention, one of the things that helped us grow a ton as well was coaching. That same year, which was last year, we hired a coaching company that just focused on pressure washing companies. Paid a lot of money, but it was well worth it. I mean, we helped set up systems and that as well, you know, getting their guidance on how to tackle a big commercial project because they've done it before was key. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Man.
Fred, you want to handle lightning round stuff, and then we can wrap up. After the lightning round, I want you to give your advice to folks out there listening who maybe want to follow in your footsteps, that want to start a business, that want to do something for themselves, for their family. But before then, Fred's going to lead us through some lightning round fun.
All right, it's no right or wrong answer, just your choice, right? Okay. Drake or Neo?
Drake.
All right. Drake or Usher?
Drake.
Really?
I mean, start from the bottom, now we're here, baby. I love that song.
Okay. Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Oof. Kendrick.
Okay.
Yeah,
so faithfulness ends right there. Yeah. Not 20v1. All right. Okay. So let's get off of that. When it comes down to it, are you more? Well, actually, no. Let me switch it up. Let me switch it up because, you know, that was the Christmas season. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I understand that there is a significant other in your life.
Yes, there is.
Yes. Okay. So are you more flowers or candy?
Flowers.
Flowers.
She loves flowers.
Okay.
Gotta give her what she loves.
Smart. Okay. All right. And then let's just go ahead and go for the jugular here. Taylor Swift or Journey?
Bro.
Ooh, that's a good question, but Journey for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's hit a little bit more home. Something that's more relevant for people of a different persuasion, perhaps a brown persuasion.
Okay.
Luis Fonsi or Daddy Yankee?
Ooh, what a question, man. See, that one kind of hit for me, but in my party days, definitely Daddy Yankee, man.
Yeah, Gasolina.
Yeah,
huh?
Gasolina. Man, would you believe I used to be the guy that stands in the middle of the circle and just freaking went off in parties, man.
All right, so Elvis Crespo or Pitbull?
Pitbull.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dale.
Really? Mr. Worldwide. Okay.
Mr. Worldwide, baby.
Okay, so if you're in Miami, multicultural, multi-ethnic, basically pan-Latin city, everybody represented there. Where are you going? You going Cuban? You going Venezuelan? You going like Yucatan with the what is the traditional dish? The Yucatan cochinita pibil or something like that.
Oh,
like
man.
what are you going for? What's your go-to dish if you're in a city where you could get anything you want from Central and South America?
Wow, that's a good question. My mom makes some mean cochinita pibil, by the way, like the best. You guys gotta try it.
Letty already has a job though. Don't you know? Unless she's got a side hustle now, right?
She does have a little side hustle.
Okay, all right.
Now,
we'll go into it later.
So is she still just a mom or is she an abuela?
No, she's still a mom.
She's not an abuela
He's
yet.
doing it right. He's doing it right.
Yeah, wait until marriage, man.
Yeah, I didn't know if any of your brothers had kids.
No, I'm the oldest. My other brothers know.
Okay, I didn't know where you fell in the four.
Yes, I'm the
Okay,
oldest. Uh-huh.
yeah, because I mean, I don't mean to be a stereotype, but I don't know a single. How do I say it correctly? Abuela Mexicana that doesn't have a killer tamale in her repertoire. If you're a Mexican grandma, it's a rule. You got to have a killer tamale.
Yes, my grandma had the best of the best, man. The best I ever had, for sure. Yes.
Yeah,
it's not. Stereotypes are funny because they're true.
And, I mean, I mean it as a sign of respect, man. Anytime I ever got the opportunity earlier in life with my Hispanic friends, anytime there was an invitation to come over for a lunch or dinner, whatever, is like, I'm there. I don't care when it is. Yes. I'm coming over because, dang, man, your abuela's got the best food.
Yes. So to answer your question, Mexican food, man. I love Mexican food.
Okay. What's your go-to dish? If you're at not a Tex-Mex, but like Mexican, not Tex-Mex.
Yes.
What's your go-to dish?
Yeah. So, my family's from Monterrey, which is the north of Mexico. It's very, very known over there. It's called cabrito, which is like it's lamb, but it's not. It hasn't grown yet, so it's a baby one.
Yeah.
And we'll eat the head of it. So you eat the eyes, the brain, and everything, and it's freaking delicious, man. So if I had to pick anything, it's not here, unfortunately. But if I had to pick anything, it would be that. It's best.
Okay, that's northwest, right? Over there by Arizona and New Mexico.
It's actually right below Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Nuevo León, and then I was born in Coahuila, which is right next to it.
Yeah.
Which is right next to it.
Okay. It's been a long time before border Mexico was a pretty dangerous place for a gringo to be.
Yes.
Yes. But
very.
Back in the day, like we built churches, we built homes, cement cinder block homes. But it was in Piedras Negras and Acuña.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So not too far from there.
Not too far, yeah. And in 2014 when we moved here, that was another one of the reasons because the insecurity was crazy. It's when the Zetas were there. I don't know if you guys remember them.
Yeah.
And I mean, right in front of my school, there was shootings, and it's pretty crazy over there compared to here.
Dude, I don't want to get stuck on that kind of stuff. The only story I'll tell, just firsthand, I was driving from here to Phoenix. So I was speaker at a conference. This is back in I think 2022, and I went down I-20 to I-10, and over in El Paso, and I'm driving through El Paso. And I'm at the part of I-10 where it's right on the border. And as you're headed westbound, out the left side of my vehicle, driver's side of my vehicle, is Mexico, like right there.
Yeah.
And I'm traveling on I-10, and I hear, and a helicopter passed right over my vehicle. And I look out my left side, and I'm like, oh, shoot. It's an Apache attack helicopter that is loaded to the gills with missiles. And I watch this helicopter out of the side of my vehicle as I'm driving down I-10, and I see the helicopter go up, make a hard right turn, and then fire off like 20 or 25 rockets from one of its rocket pods.
Nice.
No way.
It blew something up. I don't have any idea what it blew up. I don't know what's going on, but that attack helicopter went straight over my vehicle and then got over in the border Mexico and just boom, 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 and blew something up.
That's crazy.
I'm just like, whoa, it just happened, man.
Wow.
That's some wild stuff.
That's some movie stuff.
And I know I texted one of my buddies who lives in El Paso and was like, dude, is this how things go here? He's like, oh yeah, man. Like the military don't mess around. Like if the cartel's doing something, they get permission before they fly into sovereign territory, because obviously Mexican airspace, you got to ask permission before you bring an attack helicopter across the border.
Yes.
But it was like, holy cow, man. Like that's some real stuff right there.
You know what it was? It was probably all those kids, forging their address to go to the other school. Probably what it was. They're probably putting that down.
It's like, the reality that folks in border Mexico are living with is so heartbreaking to think about.
Yeah.
The victimization of folks that are just civilians, just people trying to live their lives, provide for their families, put food on the table, keep the electricity on. Nothing special. It's just folks trying to live their lives. Being victimized by a corrupt government and cartels that run everything.
Yeah, super sad, man. I hate to see it, especially coming from my country like that, from my country.
I don't know how we fix it. I don't know how.
Well, I think my opinion is just it would be awesome if America would take over Mexico. Like that's the only thing that I would, because it's
we're gonna get some letters on that one.
Yeah, it's so corrupt over there, and it's people are so greedy, and the way Mexican government is going now, it's looking kind of like Venezuela, where it's gonna go socialist. So it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty sad over there, because we still know a lot of people that live there, and it's just.
Yeah, but what an inspiration you are for not just for anybody. And I'm not saying anyone who is a non-native or immigrates to the country, but anybody, period, who lives within the United States, the ability to, make a difference. But on that note, because we're going to end on a positive note here. Tell us about the Wash Broz. Give us why people would hire you. What is your specialty, and how do they get in contact with you?
Okay. Well, yeah, our specialty is exterior cleaning, so that breaks down to multiple different services. So we do pressure washing, which includes pressure washing concrete, washing houses, that is soft washing. We can wash buildings as well, commercial, residential properties. Window cleaning, both as well. Inside and outside, we clean the windows, and commercial and residential. For fences, we pressure wash and stain them. And, we just recently added a new service because the slow season is during the winter. So we've been putting up Christmas lights for about 2 years, but we decided to do the permanent LED lights now because they're just such a better product, and people don't have to pay to put them up and down again.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. And, the biggest difference, I think, is just, I'll tell you our core values, man. I think this is what we live by, and, every job that we do it with integrity, and we're going to come back. Of course, we're not perfect, so we have to come back to finish it and do it right. If you look us up on Google, washbroz.com, we have over 200 5-star reviews, and we're just looking to truly serve, and, make a difference here in McKinney.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And for our audio-only audience, it's Wash Broz with a Z.
That's right.
With a Z,
yes.
washbroz.com. And do you have a phone number that you want them to call?
So I'll give you my personal. I forgot my office number, but
or
we'll put it in the show notes.
We'll put that in there.
Check the show notes. You're going to fill out the form after this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Before your episode drops, we'll have all that stuff. Folks, if you want to get in contact with Roberto and his company, just check the show notes. If you're watching on YouTube, check the description of the video. All that stuff's going to be there. Real quick, just as a shout out here, if you want to talk about how you compare against, we were interested in just learning about the process. Jellyfish is a company that's national, really big company.
Yes.
They're kind of the Walmart of that space. Like they have a dominant market presence. I was shocked how expensive it was.
Yeah, they're a lot more expensive than.
How do you guys compare price wise, quality of the product wise to a big player like a Jellyfish?
Yeah, so the way it works for permanent lights, we became dealers of a company, kind of like Jellyfish, but it's a little bit different.
Sure.
They're called Avio Lighting. And our product, the difference between us and Jellyfish, we give a 10-year warranty on it because we believe it is slightly better in that sense. Jellyfish is a little bit at the 5-year mark. And as far as pricing, they are pretty expensive compared to us. We're about, I want to say, 30% less than competition.
So a typical house, you're probably looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,000 for a full setup.
Yeah, for about 100 foot worth of lights, you're looking at about $2,800 to that $3,000 mark.
Okay. Yeah, that's about 30% less than we were quoted.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So much affordable, and the product, the warranty's way longer.
Yeah.
And so have you, just out of curiosity, since we're here, it's got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Have you run into the lighting being an issue with the HOA or anything?
So these are HOA approved lights,
Nice.
just like Jellyfish, because you can't see them from the outside of the street. They're underneath the soffit, color match to your house. So.
Now, whether or not they're neighbor approved is a different story entirely.
Yep.
Depending on how obnoxious you want to be.
Yes.
I was driving through our neighborhood. What's today? Wednesday. It was on Monday with Inauguration Day. And one of our neighbors one street over at the corner has those permanently installed LED lights. And they had their house in red, white, and blue, like the little flashing
was it
patterns.
running?
It was psychedelic. I'm driving past, was like, oh, that's loud. That is very loud. But it was they were celebrating Inauguration Day and everything. But their whole house was like red, white, blue, red, white, blue.
America,
I'm just
baby.
like, wow. Like,
Yes.
I'm glad I'm not standing in front of that house because I would definitely get a headache just from the changing of the colors like that. But I'm guessing your systems do all that stuff, huh?
Yeah, it can do it all, man. It has 120 plus different patterns, like 16 million different colors. And I mean, you can just customize it however you want, use it as accent lighting, just however you want to use it, man.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
We forgot to ask him the
this
shark.
is part.
Hit him with it. Hit him with it.
You know this is coming, don't you?
Yes, the best question, man, of the podcast.
Who would win in a fight between a giant polar bear, 12 feet tall, huge polar bear, and a great white shark? The fight happens in a swimming pool that is 6 feet deep. So the polar bear can stand up, but there's no edges to the pool. The polar bear can't climb out and like cannonball on top of the shark or something. Who wins, polar bear or great white shark?
I'm going to take the polar bear, man. No doubt. The reason why is because, they're probably one of the elitist predators in the world right now, aren't they? That's something I heard on Instagram. I don't know. Don't quote me.
Well, it's Instagram approved.
Yeah. But
whether it's up or down.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, man. I am on team polar bear, and for me, it just comes down to more weapons, more options. You got the teeth, you got the claws.
4 claws.
you can just pick it up out of the water. It's 6 feet. It's a 6 feet.
Yeah.
Just go like this.
Yeah, I mean, Fred will be converted at some point. Fred's still team shark.
You believe in the shark?
I believe in the shark.
Why?
Because the water is the shark's territory. And, those things, and like living in Florida for all the years that I did, I've seen sharks.
Okay.
And those things are lightning fast. They're stealthy. They glide through the water, or I mean, they're like this, and they're just amazing.
Okay.
They're just amazing. One of the ultimate killing machines.
Well,
Okay.
Okay.
There's valid arguments on both sides for sure. No,
No wrong answers.
No
wrong answers.
There are no wrong answers. The wrong answer would be you not contacting Wash Broz if there's anything
That's right.
that Roberto has been talking about that you want to hear more about, or if you just want to take him to lunch and get to know him better as a person, I imagine he'd probably be down for that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man, any final thoughts, any call to action?
Well,
the advice. What is your advice to someone who wants to start a business?
Yes.
So what's the first thing they need to do?
Yeah, so the first thing you need to do is, of course, start. So a lot of people get stuck on, planning, too much planning, doing this, thinking about is it gonna be right, is it gonna be wrong? It's just starting. You learn as you go. I think Alex Hormozi said entrepreneurship is like a marathon where you're running, and as you're running, you're learning how to put on your shoes and learning how to hydrate and all these different things, and just understand that entrepreneurship is not glamorous. That it's gonna take a while to make money. It's going to take a while to become successful, and just not quitting, because there's like a cycle of entrepreneurship where, you have informed optimism when you're uninformed optimism, you're super excited. And then, you get the real deal and you understand that, whoa, this is hard. This is not as easy as I thought. And people quit there. But if you don't quit, you keep moving forward, you have faith, and you do things right with integrity, you will win.
Yeah.
Love it.
Man, I love it. You got 3 entrepreneurs sitting here. I don't know if Fred and I would argue with that in the slightest. That's great advice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He is Roberto Gonzalez, the CEO, the president, the El Jefe
Guapo.
El Jefe Guapo of Wash Broz Company. Check him out in the link in the show notes. Roberto, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
This has been another
awesome.
This has been another episode of the McKinney Podcast, where we celebrate what makes us unique by nature. Check us out on YouTube and all the podcast platforms, folks. There we go. Bye-bye.